Well, it's the UEFA Conference League final time at the Red Bull Arena in Leipzig, Germany. Crystal Palace taking on Rayo Vallecano, and kickoff is a minute away. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how both these sides face off in this massive game. First European final for both sides. Crystal Palace looking to give Oliver Glasner the perfect send-off here. They won the FA Cup, they won the Community Shield, and now they have an opportunity in the European stage up against a Rayo Vallecano side full of confidence heading into this clash. And we are a minute away from kickoff here. This is going to be very, very interesting. Talk about a palate cleanser before the Champions League final. This should serve up to be a very interesting contest here. And we're off and running. Well, Crystal Palace looking to give the perfect send-off here. Jean-Philippe Mateta immediately knocking down for Ismail Assar and cleared away. Well, it looked like on paper Crystal Palace is the side that are the favourites here today, but they are finished 15th in the Premier League with 45 points. Rayo Vallecano on the other end, 8th in La Liga. While goal scoring has been an issue in La Liga for them, I think they have the 4th best defense, and that should hold them in good stead here and shows you that it could be a very tight encounter as Daniel Munoz with a throw-in. Decent flick on there. They want a corner. They're not going to get it. It's out for a goal kick. Pathé Ciss, the Senegalese centre-half, he's picked up a couple of red cards in La Liga. Has to make sure that he keeps that clean sheet alongside his centre-half partner, Florian Lejeune. But Oliver Glasner, well, he made his feelings crystal clear throughout the campaign. He was not happy with the way that some of his big players were traded. But that's the football food chain, isn't it? You expect them to make the move, but possibly with Eberechi Eze moving right towards the end of the summer and Mark Gahey moving in the winter window, further accelerated the process of Oliver Glasner deciding enough's enough. It's time to go somewhere else, but he has made his home at Crystal Palace, hasn't he? Well, no Chris Richards in the starting 11. Certainly an interesting call by Oliver Glasner. He's gone with Maxence Lacroix and Jedi Canvo as the two centre-halves, which are pretty much have been starting week in, week out. But Riyadh starting as the right-sided centre-half is certainly an interesting call instead of the American Chris Richards. No surprise that Adam Wharton is in the midfield area alongside Daichi Kamada. And the front three holds so much pace, creativity, physicality, and of course pace with the running. Jean-Philippe Mateta with 12 Premier League goals leading the line. Ismail Assar on one side. And Yeremy Pino is expected to play for Spain under Luis de la Fuente on that left-hand side. Inigo Perez, the head coach for Rayo Vallecano. And of course the Crystal Palace fans turning up in numbers here at the Red Bull Arena in Leipzig. Well, Dean Henderson has got the captain's armband here today. Very interesting choice by Oliver Glasner, but no surprise otherwise. His team is as expected. Mitchell and Munoz as the two wing-backs and Jean-Philippe Mateta with the flick on. Well, one in midfield, Unai Lopez and Oscar Valentin as the two pivot players for Rayo Vallecano. Valentin, the skipper, of course. Yes, Florian Lejeune immediately picks his head up and goes for the big switch out there. Well defended there by Jedi Canvo, and now Daniel Munoz now trying to venture forward. Again, Crystal Palace will rely on the transitions, and now Jean-Philippe Mateta can run at the Vallecano defense. He's got Ismail Assar in company, well defended by Florian Lejeune again. Pathé Ciss can just clean up here, and Pep Chavariak will clear on that left-hand side. Alvaro Garcia, 5 assists in La Liga for the left winger as he goes for the switch. Tyrick Mitchell does well and punches the ball into midfield. Great play there from Crystal Palace. They want the free kick and they're going to get it. Yeremy Pino, trickery there from the Spanish number 10. It's been a frantic start here by both teams in the European stage in the final. We saw England versus Spain in the Conference League final last season. It was Chelsea versus Real Betis. Chelsea ended up winning that contest 4-1 in the end. Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Nico Jackson all on the goal scoring sheet for Chelsea on that occasion. Remember, Chelsea were 1-0 down. Needed a moment of inspiration. Cole Palmer's ball for Enzo Fernandez. Perfectly weighted. Once Chelsea got that equaliser, from there was only one winner. England versus Spain again. This time in the Conference League final. Shady Canvo and Riyadh both looking to attack that fast stick. Adam Wharton clips the ball. Lacroix trying to get there first. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Does very well to keep the ball. And now the cross comes into the box. Jean-Philippe Mateta with the knockdown header. Cleared away. It's been a Lacroix trying to get there first. Well, the Vallecano fans are raising the roof here. Getting a European final to attend is something that they were possibly not expected. As Jean-Philippe Mateta remains the target here. Daniel Munoz with the throw-in. Just over 5 minutes on the clock here in Leipzig. Munoz is going to get that height and trajectory going here with the ball into the box. Munoz with the throw-in. It's flat. It's cleared away, but not too far. Trying to get there first. Munoz again keeps it short. Wharton with the ball in. Again, the offside flag has been raised on that occasion there. Jorge de Frutos, 10 league goals on that right-hand side for Rayo Vallecano. Augusto Batalla, the goalkeeper for Argentina. And then Pep Chavaria, Pate Cis, Florian Lejeune, and Andre Ratu as the back five. Unai Lopez and Oscar Valentin as the two midfield pivot. Alemão from Brazil starts as a centre forward. 4 league goals for him. Alvaro Garcia, Isi Pazalon, and Jorge de Frutos as the 3 attacking players. Chavaria finds Pate Cis. Now Florian Lejeune. Andre Ratui. Good play there by Daichi Kamada. They won the ball on the right-hand side. De Frutos plays it nicely into midfield. Here's Oscar Valentin. Again shifts it onto the left-hand side here. Now Pep Chavaria just shifts it onto the left-hand side for Isi Palazon. Again, good defensive work there by Crystal Palace. Expected to hold that defensive shape. I'd like to play on the counter-attack. That might see more of the ball here today. Here's Florian Lejeune. Onto the right-hand side to the Romanian. Vallecano keeping the ball nicely here. Onto the left-hand side to Chavaria again. Chavaria now driving forward. Adam Wharton looking to cover the spaces. Onto the left-hand side is Alvaro Garcia. He's up against Daniel Munoz. Cross comes into the box. Dean Henderson with a comfortable gather. Again. Well, those tuning in live, I do appreciate you guys tuning in for the UEFA Conference League final. And of course, in 2 days' time, we've got the Champions League final. Paris Saint-Germain versus Arsenal. The champions of England versus the champions of France. Of course, Arsenal looking for their first Champions League and PSG looking to go back-to-back. Can Paris win the ball? Here's Wharton. Good pass between the lines to Yeremy Pino. Pino shifts it onto the right-hand side. Well defended by Pep Chavaria. And Maxence Lacroix has got the pace. But it does feel like quite a few of the Palace players might be making moves in the summer. Lacroix and Adam Wharton being a couple of them. Here's Wharton again. Immediately shut down, I think. Inigo Perez has immediately told his midfielders that every time that Adam Wharton does have the ball, immediately shut him down. De Frutos, on the occasion, a bit forceful with the challenge. Inigo Perez, not convinced that that was a foul. England were again, it's Crystal Palace who keep the ball short. Again, Wharton with a lovely pass between the lines. Philippe Mateta nearly gets the Yeremy Pino with the strike. Well blocked by Oscar Valentin. They keep the danger alive on the right-hand side. Here's Ismail Assar. Oh, what a first touch that is by the Senegalese with a strike. Deflection, comfortable for Augusto Batalla. Ismail Assar Seen him at the big stage, scoring some big goals for Crystal Palace. The final in Leipzig, and of course the Champions League final in Budapest. As the season comes to an end. What a season it's been, man. What a season it has been. A lot of thrills and spills, unexpected results, and again Crystal Palace had a chance there. Yeremy Pino, a simpler pass to Jean-Philippe Mateta, and possibly Crystal Palace having a shot at goal. Augusto Batalla yet to be tested by the Crystal Palace front line. Here's Pep Chavaria, finds Pate Sis. Sis goes for the switch, finding his Romanian counterpart. Good play there by Riyad, very forceful in attack. Now Yeremy Pino immediately shut down. Oh, that's another crunching challenge. And now Vallecano on the counter-attack here. Good challenge there by AC Palazon. And now on the left-hand side, looking to put the afterburners on. Decent ball in. Slightly overhit on that occasion. Jorge Du Frutos does well. Here's Andre Ratiu with the ball into the box. And again, it's Henderson with a comfortable gather. With Vallecano showing that they're not just here to make up the numbers. Vallecano beating Strasbourg 2-0 on aggregate. 1-0 in both legs. The game against AEK Athens was a very tricky one. They were 3-0 up in the first leg and nearly threw it away. Oh ho ho, look who is here. Welcome to the stream, Kashish Pal. Laptop on, work is on. It's going to be very interested. How are you feeling about the Champions League final? Woo, that is going to be so much fun. Going to be live. I think that's a 9:30 p.m. kickoff. No late night, thankfully. Here's EC Palasson. If Arsenal win the Champions League, Kashish, you're not going to see me for another 6 months. You've already won the Premier League. Don't get greedy. Arsenal looking to win their first Champions League, while Paris Saint-Germain looking to go back-to-back. First team since Real Madrid under Zinedine Zidane. As Pate Sis finds Florian Lejeune. Now Augusto Batalla can look to hammer this forward, which he does. First touch is decent there by Alemão. The Brazilian centre-forward leading the line. Not his most prolific season with just 4 league goals for Vallecano in La Liga. What a pass that is. AC Palazon immediately shut down by Daichi Kamada but keeps his balance. Nicely done there by the Spaniard. Vallecano now looking very confident here on the ball. Crystal Palace might look to just retreat and play on the counter-attack. We've seen that in the Premier League work wonders for them. Again, good play here. Vallecano certainly not looking overawed by the situation. What a great moment this is for both sets of fans, man. Playing a European final is not something you associate with the two clubs. Crystal Palace looking to give their head coach, Oliver Glasner, a perfect send-off here. Here's Adam Wharton. A lot of eyebrows were raised when Wharton was not selected by Thomas Tuchel for the English squad. But we know that Thomas Tuchel will go for the likes of Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson and Kobbie Mainoo ahead of them. Here's Daichi Kamada onto the left-hand side to Tyrick Mitchell. Good pass between the lines. Again, a Palace looking to just hold possession. Kamada with the big switch out here. Oh, there's a slip here. Munoz can't capitalize. Looking to just hook the ball. Trying to create a bit of space. Well defended by Chavaria again. They want the foul. And Pep Chavaria immediately into that challenge there. Nicely done there by Daniel Munoz, where the wing-backs for Crystal Palace are tasked with providing the width for the London squad. Might have been the foul there, but the linesman was right there in the action. Crunching challenge on Pep Chavaria, but it's a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Again, Munoz, the Colombian, can you just put that flat trajectory on the throw-in here. Jean-Philippe Mateta will be the obvious target. Munoz with the throw-in. Oh, it's a decent flick on header there. And Pate Sis concedes the first corner of the Conference League final. I think the last touch might have come off the Brazilian centre-forward Alemão. Crystal Palace looking to take advantage with the first set piece here. But they know that they're in a battle here. It's not going to be as straightforward as they thought it would be. 15th in the Premier League versus 8th in La Liga. Might say that Rayo Vallecano might start as the slight favourites. We know that Crystal Palace have a lot of attacking talent. Mateta, Sarr and Pino are a front three that can be a handful for any defence. In real battle going along in the box, the referee needs to shut down any sort of shenanigans that he does see. Adam Wharton in charge of the set pieces here today. Going to float in this in-swinger here. Wharton with the corner. Decent trajectory on it. And Vallecano win the first and the second ball, but the referee spots the foul. Vallecano defend that nicely again. Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta selected for Didier Deschamps. Again, don't expect him to start because they've got Mbappe, Dembele and the likes, but with no Hugo Ekitike, I think Jean-Philippe Mateta will feel that he might see a bit of game time in the World Cup in the summer. Vallecano have competed very well here. 15 minutes on the clock. Level pegging so far. Decent flick on header. Well defended. Wharton with the header. Again, as soon as Mateta has the ball, you can see that 2 or 3 Vallecano players immediately trying to shut him down. JD Canvo does very, very well. He's strong into the challenge and now strides forward with the ball. Vallecano immediately getting the interception on that occasion. JD Canvo generally plays as the left wing. Oh, he's giving the ball away here. It's Vallecano on the attack. The cutback is well defended. Far too casual there by JD Canvo on the left-hand side. Jorge de Frutos nearly makes something out of nothing there. Again, it's all about the hustle. Canvo should have been able to clear this comfortably, but made a meal of it. It feels like Vallecano have just started the slightly better side. And Crystal Palace need to get comfortable with possession here. They keep looking to play on the counter-attack. It may not be the worst tactic. Vallecano looking very comfortable on the ball here. Again, going for the big switch out onto the right-hand side. Good defensive header there by Riyad. That battle between Shari Riyad and Jorge de Frutos will certainly raise a few eyebrows. De Frutos, of course, 10 La Liga goals for the right winger. Here's Andre Ratui. Lejeune finds Patesis. Now to the left-hand side to Pep Chavario. Started brightly at the left back. Finds Alvaro Garcia. Crystal Palace still trying to figure out the Vallecano puzzle. Vallecano will feel that after the opening 15 minutes or so, very much competing here. Slightly the better side too. The way that they've kept the ball has been more impressive than Crystal Palace. Then at every time that Adam Wharton does have the ball, you can see immediately a couple of Vallecano players looking to shut him down. Here's Andre. Pathesis. And the rotations there from Vallecano very much on display here. Here's Florian Lejeune. Lejeune goes for the big switch onto the left-hand side. It's slightly overhit there by the French centre-half. You can see that he's always looking for that diagonal there. Again, under no pressure. Nico Perez, he'll feel that his side have just about edged it in the opening stages. Palace, of course, beating Larnaca from Cyprus in the round of 16. 2-1 on aggregate. Going through Fiorentina. 4-2 on aggregate. And, of course, beating Shakhtar 5-2 on aggregate. So, they have been having a good goal-scoring touch in Europe, but are susceptible to conceding. Shady Canvo steps in, finding Daichi Kamada. Immediately picks his head up to find Jean-Philippe Mateta. Pathesis, not the most convincing bit of defending, but easy for Augusto Batalla. Can Crystal Palace need to be a bit more braver on the ball here? Looking to play on that direct transition, quick ball over the top into the channel for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Not working so far. Here's the Senegalese. Again, no pressure on the centre-halves whatsoever. You see Palassong coming from that number 10 position, trying to affect the build-up in the central areas. Here's Lejeune. Finds the skipper, Oscar Valentin. Now Patesis again. Good pass there by the Senegalese, and now Pep Chavaria can venture forward again. He's been bright and he continues, but his pass is easily intercepted by Adam Wharton, and now Palace could be in business. What a pass this is, and nicely done. Oh, Patesis, that is reckless. That is very, very reckless. He was the last man. I think he's just going to pick up a yellow card. He was favoured to get there first, but I'm not sure what happened there from Patesis. Takes his eye off the ball, and that could have been very, very ugly. Maxence Lacroix arguing with the referee that this could have very easily been a red card challenge. Considering he was last man, I'm not sure what Patesis is doing there. Should have been looked to clear that. He clatters into Yeremy Pino. It's a cynical foul. Again, it's just the distance towards goal. That's the only thing that has saved Patesis there, but not convincing bit of defending there by Patesis. Oliver Glasner convinced that should have been a red card. Ruin the spectacle as a final. The last thing that you want to see is a first half red card. Well, Sis on a yellow card. Needs to make sure that he toes the line. As Adam Wharton on set piece duty. Takes it short, surprisingly. Mitchell should pass to Wharton, which he does. Here's Adam Wharton with the ball into the box. And trying to find Daichi Kamada. And he prevents the corner, but not too far. Again, it's not very crisp from Crystal Palace. Just over 20 minutes on the clock here in Leipzig. Very even final, but Vallecano is the team that's looked more comfortable on the ball. Patesis would have had his heart in his mouth after that mistake at the back. Dean Henderson going long again. Palace looking to win the first and the second ball, but they win neither. Cleared away. Here's Riyadh. Wharton, Kamada, great football this from Crystal Palace, nearly slipping it through to Ismail Assar. Augusto Batalla quickly off his line. Vallecano need to settle back in here. Again, it's critical that they put pressure on the centre halves and Adam Wharton, because every time they do have the ball and they have the time and space, they look for the ball over the top. Vallecano trying to use the Crystal Palace tactic. It's not the most convincing bit of defending there by Maxence Lacroix. It's a corner for Rayo Vallecano. Again, both centre halves from both teams. Not looking at their best so far, but Vallecano with the corner. Approaching the halfway stage of the first half. Both keepers yet to be tested. Unai Lopez will take the corner from the near side here. Decent ball in, and it's not cleared away entirely. Palace will get away with it, and that's a cynical challenge by AC Palason. He's going to pick up a yellow card. Well, 2 yellow cards for Rayo Vallecano there. Again, he's trying to get that slide challenge. He completely mistimes it. And Crystal Palace. Yep, that's a bit of a cynical challenge there by the number 7. Clatters out Tyreek Mitchell. This final, very, very little to separate the two sides. Vallecano and Crystal Palace both have scored 41 league goals. Palace have conceded 51. Vallecano 44. Wharton with the header. Pino tries to get there. Does. Yeremy Pino and Adam Wharton both get in each other's way. Just hammered clear. Dean Henderson will look to just boot that forward. Wharton with the flick-on header. We've seen West Ham and Chelsea, both who have competed in the Conference League, winning the trophies. Is Crystal Palace going to be the latest English side to get their hands on the Conference League here? Here's Patesis. And Chavaria. Sis again. Nice line breaker there by the Senegalese, finding AC Palazon Onto the left-hand side, Chavaria continues his run. He's been the most attacking player here. Cross comes into the box and there's a massive opportunity. That should have been 1-0. Alemão on his left foot just cues his effort wide. Great play there by Pep Chavaria again. Nobody really marking the Brazilian centre forward. Every time Chavaria has had the ball, he's driven forward. Perfectly weighted ball. Needs to get that on target there, the Brazilian. Palace survive. Vallecano remained to be the team that showing that extra bit of attacking intent. Crystal Palace not looking at their best here. We did see Oliver Glasner rest pretty much his entire squad against Arsenal in the final Premier League game. 25 minutes on the clock. Again, it's not the best convincing bit of play here by Crystal Palace. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Finds JD Canvo. Canvo shifts it onto the right-hand side for Daniel Munoz now. Canvo with a rush clearance. Sarr with the header. Jean-Philippe Mateta is strong. Tries to get his attacking players involved, but you can see Pate Sis touch tight, and Rayo Vallecano fans are up for it. They have seen that they've not just matched Crystal Palace, but they've been the better side in the first half. Chance for Alemão on his left foot. Oliver Glasner will be slightly worried. Here's Wharton. Finds Tyrick Mitchell on the left-hand side. Mitchell now trying to drive forward. Instead it is Wharton again. Here's Daichi Kamada. Kamada drives forward. Good carry here by the Japanese international. Here's JD Canvo. Finds Riyad on the left-hand side. Riyad drives forward the Moroccan. Good run there by the centre half. The Tyrick Mitchell looks for the cross into the box. Looking for Jean-Philippe Mateta. It's cleared away and Adam Wharton mops up, but the referee had spotted the foul. Vallecano have defended the aerial threat very, very well. That was a chance. Pep Chavaria with a decent ball in. Any sort of conviction in the finish by the Brazilian, and it's possibly 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano. Almost not expecting to get there first, but that's the kind of opportunities that centre forwards are begging for in the final. Oliver Glasner will not be comfortable here. You would have seen his side outplayed in the first half so far. Into the 28th minute, Vallecano have every reason to continue to be confident here. Augusto Batalla yet to be tested whatsoever. Again, they need to get the ball on the deck. Yeremy Pino needs to try and find those pockets, try and slip the passes through to Jean-Philippe Mateta. They're playing Route 1 football, which Rayo Vallecano have found it comfortable to defend against. Unai Lopez and Oscar Valentin in the midfield area for Vallecano have kept the ball nicely. Daniel Munoz, this time with the throw-in. Deep in his own half. Again, Palace, we need to see whether or not they can progress the ball. They can't. See, Palazon nearly wins the ball back, but it's a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Well, quick throw-in taken. Ismail Assar has got the pace. They've yet to really utilize the channel ball. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Utkarsh. Thank you so much for joining in, my friend. Any predictions in terms of the final, or just here for a good time? We do have the Champions League final in a couple of days' time. Do tune in for that, the main event of the season. Ooh, that's a crunching challenge. Have to be careful. Vallecano already picked up a couple of yellow cards. Good play there by the number 7, just dropping in between the lines. You see Palazon? Nothing yet, Utkarsh. It's been a tight and cagey game by the both sides. Vallecano have started the first half the better side. They've taken much better care of the ball. They've had a good opportunity by Alemão, the centre forward. Couldn't really capitalize on it. Crystal Palace are flattered to deceive, expecting a bit more from the Premier League side. Here's Andre on the right-hand side, the Romanian now pushing forward. Couple of step overs, trying to venture forward. Good play there by Tyrick Mitchell, who wins the challenge and keeps the ball short. Just hammered forward again. Crystal Palace are showing zero composure on the ball, man. Here's Oscar Valentin, the skipper. Good pass onto the right-hand side again to Andre. And Romanian has been slightly more reserved in terms of his attacking instincts, but it's been Pep Chavaria on that left-hand side who's been relentless. He's the one who whipped that ball into the box for Alemão. Will be there for the Champions League final. I know my heart's saying is to support Arsenal. If Arsenal win the Premier League and Champions League double, hell has officially frozen over, my friend. But they have every chance to do so. Well, Anthony Gordon to Barcelona is something that I did see. Well, the price is being disputed. Some were saying 90 million euros. Romano is saying that might end up as a 70 million euro transfer. Certainly an interesting call by Barcelona. They did have Marcus Rashford as their backup left winger. They have Rafinha on that side. Interesting to see whether or not, considering they need a centre forward, it's certainly an interesting call by them to use the funds on Anthony Gordon rather than a marquee centre forward. We saw this with Luis Diaz as well, right? When he moved to Bayern Munich, and he was decent at Liverpool, but he just took his game to another level at Bayern Munich, and might end up seeing the same here by Anthony Gordon. Did have a poor season, but same could be said about everybody in Newcastle, but they've got some real talent. Anthony Gordon being the first man out of there is, again, a very interesting call, but Newcastle continue to be hit by PSR problems. But yep, if you take out, it's pretty much a straight swap with Marcus Rashford, isn't it, for Barcelona? But it's a good move. Great move for Anthony Gordon. He's going to get to play with the likes of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Pedri. What a great career move that is for him. Again, I'd be very interested to see who Barcelona do end up getting as their centre forward, or is Anthony Gordon going to be one of their false nines, if you know what I mean. They've used Ferran Torres as a Lewandowski understudy. Whether or not they continue to use Anthony Gordon, who's got tremendous amount of pace and his ability to run behind. Again, I was very surprised when Bayern Munich spent nearly 80 million euros on Luis Diaz, but look how it turned out for them. I feel that Anthony Gordon might be a similar ilk of a signing for them. Ismail Assar getting clattered on that occasion. 32 minutes on the clock. Flick will try to replicate the PSG model of relentless pressing and rotating positions between him, Lamine and Rafa. Absolutely spot on. That fluid front three. You can possibly see that a lot, especially in the Champions League with Anthony Gordon, Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. A very fluid front three, and with Barcelona holding that high line. It's almost like Hansi Flick's. That's his first real attacking signing that he's gotten the funds for the first time, really. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Barcelona's spending ends there. You see that Barcelona are trying to chase João Pedro. It'll be very difficult to get him out of Chelsea, especially after one season. Chelsea are going to ask for a lot of money if João Pedro is quote-unquote for sale. Again, when Hansi Flick has won you back-to-back La Ligas, it's almost like, whatever you say, Hansi, you've got the keys to the kingdom. Here's about 70 million euros. Do what you want with it. Be interested to see whether or not they do buy a centre-half as well to partner Pau Cubarsí. Ronald Araujo hasn't been the same player that he once was. Good pass there by Adam Wharton. Mateta runs the channel nicely. Keeps the ball well, the Frenchman. Here's Kamada. Wharton. Mateta. Back to Wharton. Good football this from Crystal Palace. They want the foul. They're not going to get it. Neither is that a foul. Now Vallecano can venture forward here. Lovely play. Here's Issy Palason. Continuing the run down the right-hand side. Good run there, but Jorge de Frutos beaten to it. And it's out for a goal kick. And Jorge de Frutos is the most potent attacker really for Vallecano. That could have been a foul on Adam Wharton. I think Tyrick Mitchell just went to ground too easily there for the referee's liking. There's Riyadh. Again, Crystal Palace deciding to go long. Every time they decide to go long, hasn't worked for them. But this is going to be a sight for sore eyes here for Inigo Perez, the head coach. Crystal Palace are not looking to play Rayo Vallecano at their own game here. Not looking to get the ball on the deck. Adam Wharton needs to find those passes between the lines for Yeremy Pino on the turn. Haven't seen that too often though. Gusto Batalla, he's gone down, but he's quickly back onto his feet there, Argentine. It's been yet to be tested. Neither has Dean Henderson in goal, but Alemao's shot came the closest to open the scoring in the Conference League final. Batalla just signaling that he might have been hit by something in the crowd. Crystal Palace fans trying their very best to try and unsettle the Argentine goalkeeper. About 9 minutes plus added on time remaining in the Conference League final. Already seen Aston Villa win the Europa League final. If Crystal Palace win here today, it's up to Arsenal to try and complete the clean sweep for England in the European competitions, but Vallecano are not making this easy whatsoever. Head coach Inigo Perez would be delighted with this first half. Oliver Glasner has already got both feet out the door. Would love to sign off with a European trophy for Crystal Palace. FA Cup win against Manchester City last season, beating Liverpool in the Community Shield. And to add a European title will certainly be dreamland really for Crystal Palace. Still a long stoppage here, almost like the officials are trying to sort out what happened in the crowd. Oliver Glasner needs to just switch it up here. They continue to play the long balls, which Vallecano have easily defended. Need to show a bit more personality on the ball, especially in a final. That's when you're really tested. Daichi Kamada has shown a lot of industry. Wharton, every time he's got the ball, looks to try and play the ball forward. It's not something that's been thrown at Augusto Batalla. It's an incident in the crowd. Somebody seems to have collapsed. What a shame that is for the fan, man. Imagine making the trip all the way to Germany to watch your club play the final and you having a medical emergency is really, really sad. Really hope that the fan is okay to continue. Referee looking to just lay down the law. Augusto Batalla looking very animated there, the Argentine goalkeeper. I keep saying this, Palace need to do more here. Palace have to do more. There, the Argentine goalkeeper. This has been a very poor game here. Yep, that's the medical emergency that has been resolved by the looks of it. 7 minutes plus added on time remaining in the first half here at Leipzig. Still 0-0 the scoreline. Crystal Palace need to at least get a shot in anger. Alisson does well. Beautiful football by Vallecano again. Here's Chavaria on the left-hand side. Immediately driving forward to find Alvaro Garcia. Here's Unai Lopez. The two centre-halves now at the halfway line. Here's Lejeune. Finds Andre on the right-hand side. Andre looking for the cross, instead drives forward. Here's De Frutos. Cross comes into the box. It's a low-driven cross. They keep the ball alive. Chance here, and Dean Henderson was rooted to the spot. Unai Lopez with the strike. It's Crystal Palace who are on the ropes here. Good football this by Rayo Vallecano again. Palace don't clear their lines. Great composure shown. And Dean Henderson was completely unsighted. Unai Lopez looking to just caress that into the bottom corner. Another warning shot fired at the Palace goal, but again, it's another shot off target. Now Palace on the right-hand side, venturing forward is Ismail Assar with a decent cutback, well defended. Is that a corner? Yes, it is. Palace looking for a quick response here. It's been Vallecano with the chances. Crystal Palace almost holding on for dear life. Corner for Palace. Hasn't happened in open play yet. Maybe it is set pieces that will unlock the scoring here for the English side. Adam Wharton on that far side with his left foot, looking for the in-swinger here. Wharton looking to deliver. Again, real melee in the box. JD Canvo getting thrown to the ground. Lisi Palazon has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Last thing you want to be is sent off in a final for 2 yellow cards. 5 minutes plus added on time remaining in the first half. Vallecano have clearly been the better side. Here's Adam Wharton with the ball into the box. Oh, it's not been cleared. Maxence Lacroix can't hook that back into play. Looks to keep the ball alive. Fails to do so. Goal kick for Vallecano. Again, Palace not good at set pieces as well. It just looks like this game is very much for Vallecano to win here. Been very disappointed with Crystal Palace. Again, shouldn't surprise many. 15th in the Premier League. Palace beating Shakhtar in the semi-finals and Fiorentina in the quarters. Clearly having the more difficult route to the final. Oh, that's a bad challenge by Adam Wharton. That's going to be a yellow card. Again, Wharton can have no complaints. It's a free kick in a dangerous position there for Vallecano now. You see Palazon getting hacked there by Adam Wharton. He's late to the challenge, right in front of the referee as well. He's just late, very late there, Wharton. Well, Vallecano will feel that they thoroughly deserve going into half-time, at least a goal up. Unai Lopez and Alemão getting good opportunities, but both hitting their efforts off target. Free kick in the half space as Isi Palazon will take it. He's the one who won the free kick. Spaniard delivers a flat delivery. It's not convincing. Just about cleared away. Now, something's got to change from Crystal Palace's point of view here. They've played a very poor first half. 3 minutes plus added on time remaining. It's almost like Oliver Glasner is just waiting for the halftime whistle. He's got options on the bench, but he's pretty much got his first choice team out there. Good play this by Andre, but he gets the foul there, the Romanian. Aichi Kamada with the foul. The Rayo Vallecano fans can certainly hold their heads up here. They know that they're seeing their team pretty much boss proceedings. They know that Crystal Palace do carry a threat on the counter-attack. Kamada shifts the ball onto the right-hand side. Referee waves play on here. Here's Daniel Munoz, finds Adam Wharton. Wharton, what a pass that is for Munoz. Munoz continues his run. I think the last touch has come off the arm of Munoz. It's not cleared away though. It's Kamada with the strike, and the referee belatedly blows the whistle. This was a very good pass this by Adam Wharton. Munoz on the stretch. Deflection came off his arm and free kick for Vallecano. Inigo Perez was the assistant coach for Vallecano in 2023, getting the first team coach job in 2024. He can add some European pedigree to Vallecano. He'll be hailed as a hero in that part of Spain. I think the offside flag has been raised there as Crystal Palace just about survive. Approaching the final minute of normal time in the first half, Crystal Palace yet to trouble Augusto Batalla in goal. It's almost like Oliver Glasner has said, don't take any risks in the first half. We'll try and play some better football in the second. But what this tactic has done is given Vallecano all the confidence, knowing that they can very much upset the apple cart. Crystal Palace need to use their physicality because they're getting popped around by Vallecano a lot more effectively. Here's the Moroccan Riyadh. Finds Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix with the channel pass. Again, they go long. Jeremy Pino wins the first header. It's not convincing by Vallecano. They clean up in midfield and it's just hacked away again. Good play there by Ismail Assar to Daniel Munoz on the right-hand side. Approaching added on time in the first half. Might see about 4 or 5 minutes of first half added on time because of that medical emergency in the crowd. And we're into added on time. It is 4 minutes. Got that spot on. Clip pass onto the left-hand side for Tyreek Mitchell. He is onside. Here's Mitchell now. Thought about the cross, delays it, and it's a poor ball in. Andre easily mops up, but he's been caught out of possession here. It's Mitchell. Ball into the box for Mateta. He should have just slipped it into the left-hand side. Not sure why he didn't do that considering Jeremy Pino was right there. Decides to go for the difficult ball instead. This is a great carry by De Frutos. Immediately shut down by Adam Wharton. Here's Daichi Kamada. Wharton between the lines. Clips it forward. Mateta. It's overhit there by Wharton. Mateta having to chase that down. Does well. On to the right-hand side. Here's Wharton with the ball, and it is magnificent, but the header is just wide. Adam Wharton puts it on a plate for Tyreek Mitchell, and Crystal Palace create their first opportunity in first half added on time. This ball by Adam Wharton is world class. All Mitchell has to do is direct that header on target, and it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace. He does everything right, but get the header on target. That ball by Adam Wharton is sensational. Huge let off there for Rayo Vallecano at the stroke of first half added on time. Glasner was ready to celebrate. We've seen 3 efforts so far in the match. All 3 efforts have been off target. Alemayo and Unai Lopez for Vallecano, and Tyreek Mitchell from left wing back had to make it 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Huge let off there for Vallecano, having shut down Crystal Palace for about 46 minutes. They nearly conceded on the stroke of half-time. That would have been catastrophic from Vallecano's point of view. Well, that's Adam Wharton, isn't it? If you don't close him down, he will unlock the defense with his array of passing. Well, that was the best opportunity in the first half. Approaching 90 seconds of first half added on time. 0-0 the scoreline. Might look a lot more even considering that Tyreek Mitchell chance, but take that chance out. Crystal Palace have barely competed in an attacking sense. But you get one of those moments and suddenly as a team you feel a lot more confident as Daichi Kamada now driving forward. Kamada onto the left-hand side to Tyreek Mitchell, who should have scored moments before. Here's Kamada. Again goes onto the right-hand side. Good defending by Vallecano. It's out for a goal kick. Sensational. Huge let off there for Rayo Vallecano. Been considering that Tyreek Mitchell chance, but take that chance out. Crystal Palace have barely. Again, how does Mitchell not score there, man? He's like 4-5 yards out. All he has to do is direct that into the corner. Crystal Palace fans making the trip to Leipzig would have thought that that was the opportunity for them. Would have been a smash and grab. And now Jean-Philippe Mateta, final attack of the first half here. Tyreek Mitchell keeps it short to Daichi Kamada. Here's Riyadh. Onto the left-hand side. Finding Jeremy Pino. Pino with a beautifully drilled cross-field pass. Well defended. That might be the last attack, and it is. The referee blows the half-time whistle here at Leipzig, Germany. Well, Rayo Vallecano, before the Tyreek Mitchell chance, would have said that they absolutely bossed that first half. Alemao with a good chance, and Unai Lopez from the outside of the box, nearly finding the bottom corner with Dean Henderson completely unsighted. Totally dominated that first half, I felt, the way that they kept Crystal Palace at arm's length. And right at the stroke of half-time, Adam Wharton with a perfect pick-out for his left wing-back, Tyreek Mitchell. He does everything right. He times his run well. He was completely unmarked. And from 4 yards out, he had to find at the back of the net. That was a massive let-off for Vallecano. But it is half-time in Leipzig. It is 0-0. Well, I'll be back for the second half very, very shortly. It's been a game that has kept us on the edge of our seat, waiting for that real moment of quality yet. It looked like it was Adam Wharton who put it on a plate. Other than that, Crystal Palace need to improve in the second half. We'll be back very shortly for the start of the second 45 minutes. Expect a little bit more life in the match. We need to see more out of Crystal Palace. Vallecano will feel that the game plan has worked, but they need to trouble Dean Henderson in goal a lot more in the second 45 minutes. 0-0 at half-time. I'll be back very shortly. We're a few minutes away from the start of the second half. There have been a couple of moments there for both teams. Vallecano, I thought they played really well in the first half. But that chance for Tyreek Mitchell right towards the end of the first 45 minutes was the best opportunity in the match. Adam Wharton putting it on a plate really for Tyreek Mitchell. Everything but the finish from the wing back. We're all set for the second 45 minutes at the Leipzig Stadium. Crystal Palace need to play a whole lot better in the second 45 minutes. I think they was very underwhelming in the majority of the 45 minutes, but in the second half, Oliver Glasner will need to slightly tweak what he has seen in the opening first half. And critical that they try and keep the clean sheet. Almost feels like there's going to be one goal that separates the two sides here. And we're off and running for the start of the second half. Crystal Palace, they need to play a whole lot better. But that chance for Tyreek Mitchell right towards the end is enough motivation, enough for them to think that that will be enough for them to take it forward here. But it's going to be critical that they hold their shape, take much better care of the ball. I thought some of the players for Vallecano were excellent, especially the left back Pep Chavaria, who was every opportunity that he got, ventured forward. Both keepers not having to make a save. Vallecano with 2 attempts off target. And of course, Mitchell with his header just wide. Well, Palace need to play better. Simple as that. Shady Canvo putting his centre-half partner under a bit of pressure, but they play through the Vallecano press nicely through the central areas and then shifts it onto the left-hand side. Here's Tyreek Mitchell now. Good start here from Palace. It's a chance here for João Felipe Mateta. Brilliant defending. Absolutely outstanding there from Florian Lejeune. On the slide on that occasion. Doing really well. Some of the Vallecano fans making their way back to their seats, nearly seeing their side concede. Crystal Palace looking to be a lot more adventurous. Decent ball in. Lejeune on the slide. Doing really well. Jean-Philippe Mateta needs a chance. French centre forward getting very little service. Throw in here for Crystal Palace. Daniel Munoz now will take the throw in. Flat trajectory again. They get the flick on header by Maxence Lacroix. And he shepherds that out and out for a goal kick. Vallecano will continue to get the ball on the deck and pass it around. Crystal Palace need to take much better care of the ball though. Much better care of the ball. And that's something I'm sure Oliver Glasner would have told his team. Kept going long in the first half. Whether or not that tactic remains the same as Issy Palason with a back header here. There's a nearly lets it short. Maxence Lacroix has not been at his imperious best today. Here's Wharton who wins the header in midfield. Lejeune gets there first, ahead of his French compatriot Mateta. Throw in for Vallecano. Shadi Riyad picked ahead of Richards. You see JD Canvo generally plays the left-sided centre-half with Richards on the right, but Canvo playing at the right and Shadi Riyad as the left-sided centre-half is certainly an interesting move by Oliver Glasner. Taishi Kamara gets absolutely cleaned out there. That's the third yellow card for Rayo Vallecano. Kamara getting cleaned out there by Unai Lopez. Couple of late challenges by the midfielders on both sides. We saw Adam Wharton picking up a yellow card for a late challenge himself. We saw Pathé Sis was almost the last man who made that very clumsy challenge on Yeremy Pino. His heart would have been in his mouth when the referee was picking his choice of card. That ended up being a yellow card. Third yellow for Vallecano. Here's JD Canvo. His pass intercepted with ease there by Oscar Valentin, the skipper. Here's the Spaniard. Franz Patesis. And to Florian Lejeune. Lejeune continues for the big ping out. What a pass that is by Lejeune. Cross comes into the box. Well defended by Maxence Lacroix and cleared away by Crystal Palace. But nobody putting pressure on the French centre half, and he'll ping those balls all evening long by the looks of it. He's had an excellent performance. It just feels like one goal will be enough to separate the two sides. We saw Aston Villa completely dominate against Freiburg in that 3-0 victory in Turkey. Here's Adam Wharton. Keeps it short. Now to JD Canvo. Daniel Munoz now. JD Canvo. Good play there by the Frenchman, finding Munoz. Decent composure there by the Colombian. Aichi Kamada, first time pass to Adam Wharton. Palace moved the ball well here. 5 minutes into the second half. Again, nobody closing down Wharton. Wharton continues to strike. Adam Wharton, decent strike, and Jean-Philippe Mateta opens the scoring. Nobody shuts down the Frenchman, and he opens the scoring with a tap-in. Crystal Palace lead at well, that's the chance that they were waiting for. Nobody shuts down Adam Wharton. He hammers it at goal. And Jean-Philippe Mateta, like every good striker, follows up from close range and taps it into the empty net. Oliver Glasner's side have the lead in the cup final. Again, this is poor from Vallecano. Oh yes, he's very much onside. And he cannot miss from there. Palace take the lead in Germany. Poor goalkeeping there from Augusto Batalla, just parries it straight into the path of Jean-Philippe Mateta, and the Frenchman does the rest. Comes off his shin, but it's an assured finish, and that's the moment that Crystal Palace have been waiting for. Look at the Palace fans. They explode into celebration, and they're about 40 minutes away from their hands on yet another piece of silverware. Oliver Glasner looked to sign off with the third trophy for Crystal Palace. Mateta scoring his second goal in the Conference League. This one, his most important. But now Vallecano will have to score, and Crystal Palace will love this one. To play on the counter-attack is exactly where they thrive. Challenge there on Ismail Assar. Again, Adam Wharton has been the chief protagonist for Crystal Palace. He's the one who's looking to make things happen. Ooh, that would have been a high boot there by Andre. Catches Ismail Assar. Lucky not to pick up a yellow card by the looks of it. And look at the Palace fans now bouncing up and down in Leipzig. Mateta is convinced that that should have been a foul. Again, just so poor there from Vallecano. You have to close down Adam Wharton. They do not pay heed, as Wharton nearly had like 10 or 15 yards to just run forward. Augusto Batalla's parry straight into the path of Jean-Philippe Mateta, and that's the chance that Palace wanted. And now Palace have something to hold on to. Again, this is poor from Vallecano. Oh yes. There's going to be more silverware for Crystal Palace as it stands. What an era this has been under Oliver Glasner. Crystal Palace, who have been starved for trophies, An FA Cup final win against Manchester City. We don't really consider the Community Shield, but for Palace we do, considering they beat last season's champions Liverpool in the Community Shield. And now about 37 plus stoppage time away from their first European trophy. Vallecano will be kicking themselves for allowing Crystal Palace to take the lead here. Oh, that might be a foul there on Ismail Assar. Vallecano are busting at the seams. Again, Ismail Assar gets cleaned out on that occasion. It's a free kick for Palace in a dangerous position. Lejeune with a reckless challenge. Florian Lejeune, who's had a very, very good first half. Very reckless with the challenge on the Senegalese. Free kick in a dangerous position for Crystal Palace now. I think if Palace get the second, they'll feel that it's game over. I think Lejeune just catching Ismail Assar in the ribcage there with the toe of his boot when Shah was on the ground. Palace now looking for the second here. It's a free kick in a dangerous position. It has to be Adam Wharton territory here. He's the one who's making things happen. Has to go for goal here. Difficult angle with the left foot, but the confidence coursing through his veins. You bet your money that Adam Wharton will have a pop at goal here. Might even float this into the corridor of uncertainty. Got a couple of Crystal Palace players who are peeling away towards the far stake. Oh, there's a chance! Oh, magnificent strike! And it's an opportunity on the follow-up. It is somehow cleared. How did that ball stay out? It should have found its way into the back of the net. Looks like Vallecano just about survived. What a free kick that was. Well, you were betting all money that was going to be Adam Wharton with the free kick. It comes off both posts and somehow the ball stays out. Vallecano survived. Jeremy Pino, special free kick. Absolutely magnificent there. Oh, they're so lucky. Oh, welcome to the stream, Mr. Bajaj. Well, first half, Vallecano completely dominated Crystal Palace. They had two glorious opportunities, one for the striker Alamao and one for Unai Lopez. Both strikes were off target, and right at the stroke of half-time, Adam Wharton put in a perfect delivery for Tyrick Mitchell, who missed from very close range. And now Jeremy Pino on the attack here. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta's wide! How have Crystal Palace not added the second here? It should be game over. Jean-Philippe Mateta from close range, drawing out a save there by Augusto Batalla. Game stretched open here. Jeremy Pino does everything right. Great save by the Argentine. Vallecano survive. That should have been 2-0. That should have been a brace for the Frenchman. Big save there for Augusto Batalla. The hair is fresh for Palace to make European history. Well, Crystal Palace are my second team. I am rooting for them. Gotta look fresh. What a chance that was for Palace. And now Wharton with the corner here. Vallecano don't clear that well enough. Now they do. Crystal Palace needed something to hold on to. And now Vallecano, who've been completely absent in the second half, trying to do something forward. Crystal Palace, it's been a complete turnaround, Manny, since that goal from Jean-Philippe Mateta. The turnaround has been evident. It should have been 2-0. Either the Jeremy Pino free kick or Jeremy Pino with the cutback for Mateta. Either one of them had to find its way into the back of the net. Vallecano so lucky. It's all about Vaibhav Suryavanshi today. Oh my goodness me. What an innings that was. It was only 4s and 6s. Unlucky not to get the fastest 100 in IPL history. Rajasthan Royals against Gujarat Titans to decide who will play against RCB. RCB looking to go back-to-back. Oh, decent strike. That's the first shot on target for Vallecano. Comfortable save there for Dean Henderson. Alamao again. We'll be wondering if that chance early on, if it found its way into the back of the net, the complexion of the final would have completely changed. Well, the second half has certainly come to life. Mani, I was watching the chase, and the way Ishan Kishan was batting, he had 16 off the Jofra Archer over and still decided to go after him. I was fuming. That just shows low IQ, man. They did everything right in terms of the early chase, and then just shit the bed right towards the end. Poor, very poor. Nothing I hate more than low IQ stuff in the big pressure moments. Ooh, that might be a foul there. Tyreek Mitchell got there first. Andre was slightly late to the challenge. And Crystal Palace have come out roaring in the second half. Oh, that's a clear foul there by Andre. Man, he had to stick around. I cannot understand, especially after taking on Archer in the first 3 balls. Just play some sensible cricket, rotate the strike. You even saw Kavya Maran's reaction, right? She was wondering, why do I pay all this money to some brain-dead cricketers? Is it going to be a Gujarat RCB final? Wait and see. Here's Kamada finding Yeremy Pino. Pino with the ball in. Again, magnificent ball. Oh, Vallecano are holding on for dear life. Daniel Munoz making the run from right wing back into the box. Brilliant cross in there by Yeremy Pino. They've got the overload. There are 3 Palace players attacking that ball in. Yeremy Pino with a shift and cross. And Munoz, if he gets his header to it, again, Crystal Palace having glorious opportunities to add the second. A completely transformed side in the second half. This Crystal Palace were completely absent in the first 45 and now looking to dominate the settings. Vallecano on the ropes here. Final half an hour remaining in Leipzig. And it looks like it's going to be 2 out of 2 from the English sides in the European finals. Aston Villa won 3-0 against Freiburg. Crystal Palace are half an hour away from claiming their first ever European trophy. And of course, in a couple of days' time, Arsenal have the opportunity to possibly make it 3 out of 3 for the English sides in Europe. It was all about the power play and RR killed them, even giving Jofra a third to get Travis Head out. Super play, yep. I mean, once they lost those early wickets, it was over, man. Neither side bat deep. So once you get those second and third wicket, feel that you can make some real inroads. Anyways, back to the football, brother. Here's Pate Sis. Shifts it onto the right-hand side to Florian Lejeune. Lejeune, who's played these diagonals all evening long. Good defending there by JD Canvo. Well, Crystal Palace's physicality will prove to be a problem for Vallecano in the second half as Alvaro Garcia, the latest to pick up a yellow card for the Spanish side. Vallecano, they have to make sure that they're just lean into what worked for them in the first 45 minutes. Unai Lopez is coming off. It's going to be a double substitution by head coach Inigo Perez. Lopez and Oscar Valentin, both midfielders coming off. Interesting choice by Inigo Perez. He brings on Diaz and Mendy. On the right-hand side, Vallecano need to find a way back here. This is Crystal Palace territory. Now that they have something to hold on to, the ability to play on the counter-attack when the game is stretched certainly suits Oliver Glasner's side. Here's Chavaria. Finding Mendy. And now Florian Lejeune. Back to Mendy. Onto the left-hand side for Chavaria now. Looking for the cross into the box. Decides against it. Keeps it short. That's a poor ball there by the Spaniard. Easy for Dean Henderson. Henderson yet to really make a save of note in the final. Crystal Palace nearly there. Issy Palazon taking the captain's armband from Oscar Valentin. There's Jerry Canvo. Good pass to Yeremy Pino. There's a lot of space here for Tyreek Mitchell, who brings that down nicely. Now onto the left-hand side. Mitchell has got runners, cuts inside. And that Vallecano nearly 60% of the ball, but yet to really trouble Dean Henderson in goal. Yeremy Pino finds Mitchell in a central position now. Mitchell holds on to the ball very nicely and shifts it onto the left-hand side. It's a chance here for Crystal Palace to add the second. Side netting by Ismail Assar. Ismail Assar finding himself on the left-hand side. Again, Crystal Palace playing some decent patterns. And you can see all the confidence now with Crystal Palace having gotten the opener. Vallecano did make a double substitution. Diaz and Mendy coming on for Unai Lopez and Oscar Valentin. Oliver Glasner will be very, very pleased with the way his side have turned up in the second half, following his game plan to a T. Wharton has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Maxence Lacroix with a foul on Alemão. Diaz takes it quickly, now onto the right-hand side, and that pretty much sums up Vallecano in the second half. It's been a complete 180 in terms of the performance from both sides. First 45 minutes, it looked like Vallecano were the superior side. Head coach Inigo Perez struggling to really find answers here as Crystal Palace have locked things down defensively and very easily could have had a second goal. Either one of those chances, the Yeremy Pino free kick or the Jean-Philippe Mateta strike, which was very well saved by Augusto Batalla. Here's Mendy to Chavaria to Pate Sis now. Good ball retention by the Spanish side. Now Chavaria on the left-hand side. Ball into the channel, well defended by JD Canvo. Well, Canvo showing his versatility in terms of defending. Generally plays as the left-sided centre-half. And Mark Gahey left the club for Manchester City. Canvo slotted in there. Today playing as the right-sided centre-half with Shadi Riyad playing as the right-sided centre-half. Maxence Lacroix remains as the centre-back. Might be the last game for some of these Palace players, like Lacroix, Wharton, maybe even Jean-Philippe Mateta. Under 25 minutes plus stoppage time remain in Leipzig. Vallecano look like they're running out of ideas. Struggling. Again, it's that physicality, isn't it? It plays such a huge part. Crystal Palace's Premier League ready, aren't they? Premier League intensity is just a different breed. With 15th in the Premier League versus 8th in La Liga. Rayo Vallecano flexed their muscles in the opening 45 minutes, but in the second half, they've gone missing. Here's Issy Palason dropping deep now. Florian Lejeune. Good pass between the lines. Been very impressed by the Frenchman's distribution. Either punches that between the lines or goes for the long diagonal pings. Lejeune again with the ping onto the left-hand side. Chavaria brings that down nicely. Lovely pass there by Palazon onto the left-hand side here. Vallecano in business with a cutback opportunity. Well defended. Side netting from Vallecano. Maxence Lacroix doing really well to cut that out. Almost feels like it's the defenders looking to open things up for Rayo Vallecano. Lovely pass there by Issy Palazon. Alvaro Garcia continuing his run with the cutback. Well closed down by Maxence Lacroix. Inigo Perez wants a bit more composure in the final third from his side. Vallecano fans trying to make a ruckus, trying to rile their team back up here. They need a massive 22 odd minutes here in Leipzig to try and at least pull a goal back. Crystal Palace looking for the second, and they'll feel the second will be enough to seal their first ever European trophy. Lacroix with the foul as DC Palason keeps it short, finding Florian Roger. Here's Mendy. Finds Chavaria. Back to Mendy. Looks like Pathé Sis is just being pushed into midfield with Mendy now as the centre half. Certainly an interesting call there by Inigo Perez. Again, RAYO VALLECANO not able to shift the ball accurately. They've just lost their passing rhythm. They've lost their two midfielders as well. It's the substitutions. Inigo Perez deciding to bring on his number 10 here now. Desperate times. It's not just going with one substitution. De Frutos and Garcia both coming off. Sergio Camelo and Alfonso Espino coming on for Vallecano with just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in Germany. Daichi Kamada wins the ball in midfield, finds Daniel Munoz. Again, looks up for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Mendy challenges with him. Gusto Batalla can start off a Vallecano attack now. Guys, just let me know in the comments if you feel that the stream is fine in terms of the quality. There's not too much lag. Don't think there's any issue from my end, but just want to confirm with you guys before I possibly need to refresh or restart the stream. Here's Daichi Kamada on the right-hand side. And no pressure on the midfielders. Palace yet to make a substitution. Pretty much going with their strongest side as JD Canvo was so composed on the ball. Very impressive performance by the teenager. Well, Palace under 20 minutes away from making history. Oliver Glasner looking to sign off in style. Chavaria with the clearance. Wharton wins the ball in midfield. Here's Ismail Assar. His first touch is poor. Chavaria looks to clear that away. Again, Palace looking to make it a nuisance for Vallecano to try and build out the back. Decent chop on the right-hand side. Clip ball in, and they don't just about defend it. Good defending, but the foul has been given. Well, Sergio is convinced that was not a foul. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Yep, it was a clear push. Good spot there from the ref. Munoz defending the back stick perfectly there. The wing-backs have put in a shift for Crystal Palace. Defended. Good defending, but the foul. Henderson just smashes that ball upfield. Crystal Palace with a no-nonsense approach. And now they pinch the second ball here. It's Ismail Assar. His first touch just gets away from him. Daniel Munoz with a clear-cut dive. And now Vallecano on the counter-attack, looking to make Palace pay here. DC Palazon shifts it onto the right-hand side. Vallecano have committed players forward here. Andre continuing his run from right back. Oh, it's an overhead pass there by the Romanian. Trying to just slot that in for his number 10. That was the free kick by Yeremy Pino. How did that stay out, man? Hitting both posts. And then, of course, a minute later, Jean-Philippe Mateta from close range drawing a very good save by Augusto Batalla. That should have been 2-0 and game over for Crystal Palace. Jean-Philippe Mateta, as it stands, the match winner. Cleared away by Lejeune. JD Canvo remains imperious at the back. Good carry here from the substitute. Shifts it onto the right-hand side for Issy Palasson. Oh, that might be a foul there by Daichi Kamada. It is. It's by Yeremy Pino, who's tracking back. He picks up a yellow card there, the Spaniard. Again, just tracking back, and that's a forwards challenge. Clipping the second half skipper. Vallecano need a moment of magic here to try and drag their way back into this cup final. Yeremy Pino signaling that was his first foul and not worthy of a yellow card, but considering the position that they found themselves in. Vallecano fans on the edge of their seat as we're approaching the final 15 minutes. Well, Palace have been near perfect in the second half here. Far cry from how they were in the opening 45. Will be the skipper who will take this free kick. Lejeune's also there as the right-footed option. The entire stadium holds its collective breath here. This is a massive moment into the match here. Issy Palasson, oh, poor free kick. Very poor from the skipper. Well over the crossbar. Almost like a Adam Wharton-like technique on Issy. Wharton has been the man who's been the difference maker for Crystal Palace. Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta will be subbed off here by Oliver Glasner, and he's been greeted with the biggest round of applause. As it stands, is the match winner in the cup final from close range. No time to react, but just about getting his foot there on target. He could have made it 2-0, but with Strand Larsen now coming on, Crystal Palace going for their plan B here with a bit more fresh legs up front, with Mateta doing his job. Interesting by Oliver Glasner, not looking to shuffle anything else around, considering it's pretty much his strongest side there, but with Strand Larsen, he's got fresh legs up front here. Daniel Munoz and Tyrick Mitchell have put in an absolutely sensational shift at wing-back. Inigo Perez making his fifth and final substitution. Issy Palasson coming off. Well, the captain's armband has been shuffled around for RAYO Vallecano as Akumach coming on. And the captain's armband now for the Senegalese Pathé Ciss. Well, Ciss has been shifted into midfield with Mendy, Noble Mendy playing as the centre half alongside Florian Lejeune. Here is Noble Mendy. Finding Lejeune. Vallecano, all they need is a moment of inspiration here, trying to pull a goal back. Immediately shut down there. Referee has spotted the foul, but waves play on. Again on the right-hand side, Mitchell wins that first, and Lacroix immediately picks his head up to find Yeremy Pino. Adam Wharton. Vallecano win the midfield battle again. Andre trying to just keep the ball, but Crystal Palace continue with the pressure. Well, 12 minutes plus stoppage time remain in Leipzig. This is almost game over until or unless Crystal Palace concede a goal here. Just felt like after the first half that one goal just might be enough here. Tyrick Mitchell getting caught there. Chance here for Vallecano. Great bit of skill. Henderson smothers. Very good goalkeeping there by the Englishman. And that's the first time that he's really being tested Rayo Vallecano trying everything in their power, try and pull a goal back. Here's Bataya with the clearance. Again, doesn't go too far, but turns into an excellent ball. Now Vallecano on the left-hand side, driving forward. Good carry here. He's gone all the way without being challenged. Chavaria with the ball across. It's a brilliant opportunity. Outstanding defending there by Maxence Lacroix. And Shadi Riyad just hammers that out to touch. Alamau once again the target, but very good defending by Crystal Palace. This is where they thrive. Deep defending and playing on the counter-attack. Now shifting on to the right-hand side. We're into the 80th minute. Again goes for a strike from distance. Again easy for Dean Henderson. Seeing the Florian Leger shot well off target. Oliver Glasner looking to make his second substitution. Again, he's not going to change the back line. He's not going to change the midfield. He's going to make attacking changes here. It's like for like again. We saw Strand Larsen coming on for Jean-Philippe Mateta. And Jeremy Pino signing off for this season's Crystal Palace campaign. The next time we'll see him will be for a Spain side. As Pino's off. And Ucho will take his place. Let's guess on rather. Well, 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Rayo Vallecano fans urging their team on. They need just that one moment to drag themselves back into this cup final. Ken Palace happy to defend the situation. Lacroix has done very well again. Out to touch, out for a throw-in. Crystal Palace will have to play some throwback football here. Deep defending and playing on the counter-attack. Gesson and Strand Larsen both coming on. Like-for-like substitutions made by Oliver Glasner as Crystal Palace pitch the ball in midfield. Here's Shadi Riyad. Again, why does he not release the ball here? Poor from him. Vallecano keep the ball here. 9 minutes plus stoppage time remain in Leipzig. Time running out for Rayo Vallecano, but absolutely brilliant. What's up, Mr. Joseph? Champion is up. My heart is pounding. The fact that if Arsenal win the Champions League as well, hell has officially frozen over, my friend. It's a good time for you guys as well. It's not going to be a ugly timing. What is it? 1:30, 2 a.m. kickoff? Not too bad. Shadi Riyad with the foul. Well, as it stands, TJ, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace getting the job done. It'll be up to Arsenal to finish the clean sweep for the English sides in Europe. 2 a.m. Pretty ugly. 9:30 a.m. India time. Beautiful. Beautiful. 8 minutes plus stoppage time remain in Leipzig. Free kick for Vallecano. They keep it alive. It's a strike from distance over the crossbar. That pretty much sums up Rayo Vallecano in the second half here. 6 p.m. drinks at Chetan's place, then head to the bar of Four Legs. Please be safe. It's either going to be drinks and happiness or drinks and sorrow. Which bar are you guys going to? Which is one holding the watch-along or the showing for the final? Arsenal fans, you're 90 minutes away from making history, man. I mean, we always talk about the 2001, 2 or 2003, 4 sides of Arsenal being the legendary sides. Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, Sol Campbell. But now might be the change of the guard. Oh, the Cheers bar in the city. I've been there. It's a nice bar. Good play there by Ismail Assar. Looks to play the 1-2 with Daniel Munoz. Leaves it short though. The Colombian has to bust the gut to get there forward. Daichi Kamada A little too late on the challenge. Now Vallecano in business here. Great challenge there by Guesson. Fresh legs and identifying the challenge. Now Crystal Palace struggling to keep hold of the ball. Here's Lejeune finding Pate Sis. Now on the right-hand side, Vallecano looking to make something happen here. Palace quickly back into their defensive shape. Here's Florian Lejeune finds Noble Mendy. Onto the left-hand side for Pep Chavaria. All new front three for Rayo Vallecano. Change in midfield as well, as head coach Inigo Perez has thrown the kitchen sink in terms of the changes. Again, Wharton mops up in midfield. Strand Larsen does very, very well. Bruno Strand Larsen, again, fresh legs up front. As Noble Mendy picks up a yellow card. Crystal Palace nearly there. Nearly there. As it stands, Jean-Philippe Mateta will go down in the history books in the Palace folklore as the match winner in a European Cup final. With the Vallecano fans, fair play to them. They have not stopped singing, but they'll be very disappointed with the way that their side have turned up in the second half. First half performance was very, very good from them. They kept the ball nicely, had a couple of very good chances. But Palace, once the game settled, taking control of the situation. Adam Wharton, no surprises that he's been the game changer for Crystal Palace. He's the one who put it on a plate for Tyreek Mitchell in the first half. And then, of course, a long driving run forward, just parried by Augusto Batalla straight into the path of Jean-Philippe Mateta. The Vallecano fans are in tears and are still screaming at the top of their lungs. Emotional day for the Spanish side. But in terms of finances, they do not belong in the European finals, despite this being the Conference League. And having beaten Strasbourg in the semi-finals, AEK Athens in the quarter-finals, and Samsunspor in the round of 16, it looks like they will fall short in the final hurdle here. Palace are 4 minutes plus stoppage time away from giving Oliver Glasner the perfect send-off. Oliver Glasner, does he decide? I mean, he's pretty much peaked, hasn't he? FA Cup, Community Shield, and now Conference League. That is an outrageous return for a Crystal Palace manager, and Oliver Glasner's stocks are at an all-time high. Whoever decides to go after the Austrian in the summer will certainly be a squad looking to make a push from wherever they are. Inigo Perez, his first real head coaching job for Rayo Vallecano. 8th in La Liga, falling short in the European final here in the Conference League. Well, West Ham, Chelsea, and now Crystal Palace as it stands, who are 3 minutes away from the English sides continuing their dominance in the Conference League. In the European stage this season, Aston Villa have got the job done, Crystal Palace nearly getting the job done, and all eyes will be on Arsenal, whether or not they can complete the clean sweep for the English sides in Europe this season. Hey, TJ, are you facing a lag on the stream or all okay from your end? And it feels like something's off here. Well, Diaz with the ball in. Out for a goal kick. Palace are nearly there. Nearly there. Lejeune with the header. Well off target. 2 minutes plus stoppage time away. Vallecano fans continue to rally behind their team. The Crystal Palace fans are bouncing. Absolutely bouncing there. Okay, all good then. Yeah, all fine from my end as well, but just asking. Good flick on header. Strand Larsen. Crystal Palace keep the ball nicely. Ismail Assar and Bruno Strand-Larsen nearly brings that under control. 90 seconds of the 90 remain here. Vallecano have a chance. Lacroix is brave, very, very brave. Puts his head where it hurts, and JD Canvo. Well, it looks like Jean-Philippe Mateta will be the man of the match, but I'm going to give a huge, huge shout out to JD Canvo, man. He has been brilliant for Crystal Palace. Different defensive position this time, playing as the right centre-back instead of his more conventional left-sided centre-half position. Brilliant from him. And we talked about the Crystal Palace fire sale potentially happening in the summer. Mateta, Wharton, Lacroix, even add JD Canvo to that list. There's some gem of players. Maybe even Yeremy Pino, man. If he has a very good World Cup, there's every chance that he makes a move. Here's Daniel Munoz. 30 seconds of normal time remain here. Munoz riling up the Crystal Palace supporters there. They're so close. Crystal Palace fans who have not seen silverware for ages are going to be spoilt with 3 trophies in a 12-month span. Munoz with the throw-in. Loopy throw-in there by the Colombian. Wharton with a decent way back. Strand-Larsen does well. Ismail Assar could have fed Munoz. Instead, it's Wharton in the half space. Adam Wharton chops on his right foot. And good defending there. Mendy comes across. And it's 5 minutes of stoppage time signaled by the 4th official. Rayo Vallecano have to throw the kitchen sink at the Palace defense here. They've completely reshaped their attacking options. But they're running out of ideas. Palace now go back into their defensive shape. They're nearly there. Nearly there. Making it 2 out of 2 for the English sides. Good pass between the lines here. On the left-hand side, clip ball in towards the far stick. Brilliant defending by Tyreek Mitchell. That is what you want to see from your wing-back. In the right position. Again, still battling, and now Palace can add the seal here. It's Tyreek Mitchell who continues his run. It's Tyreek Mitchell. Oh, what a poor choice of pass. He has to slip in. Strand-Larsen earlier on, but Tyreek Mitchell has run non-stop for 91 odd minutes, so you don't really hold him under too much there. Excellent defending and continuing his run forward. Lovely play there by Tyreek Mitchell. Gesson and Tyreek Mitchell combining on that left-hand side. Corner for Palace. Inigo Perez urging his side. Again, they have not tested Dean Henderson goal whatsoever in the second half. And the Palace fans will be partying all night long in Leipzig. The German police better be on the A game here. We saw the Aston Villa fans creating ruckus in Istanbul. And it's going to be the London side who are going to be partying in Germany. Well, they finished 15th in the Premier League, and that'll be long forgotten if they can get their hands on the Conference League. Alfonso Espino picking up the latest yellow card for Vallecano. Halfway point of stoppage time. Crystal Palace looking to run down the clock here. Don't expect them to be showing any sort of... Ooh, Ismail Assar nearly gets there. Strand-Larsen tries to make his presence known. Good challenge there from Strand-Larsen. It's clean as a whistle. The centre forward has put in quite the shift since coming on. And that's a clear foul there by the Norwegian. Norway's 3 strikers for the World Cup. Haaland, Alexander Sørloth, and Bruno Strand-Larsen. That is quite the collection of centre forwards for Norway. Well, 2 minutes of stoppage time remain here. Augusto Batalla trying to just urge his team forward. Route 1 football time for Rayo Vallecano. They are running out of time. They're running out of everything left here. Palace defend well. Strand-Larsen hammers that ball curiously. Out for a throw-in for Vallecano. Needed to hook that away instead. It was a flat clearance. Pacha will take the throw-in here. Vallecano using the Premier League tactic of a long throw-in, cleared away by Maxence Lacroix. Diaz with the strike, he pulls it wide. They want a corner, they're not going to get it. Pedro Diaz, that was a curious decision. Taking a shot from distance. It looked like Shari Riyad might have taken a deflection off the Moroccan. And Palace now a minute away. Oliver Glasner checking with the fourth official whether or not his watch and the fourth official's watch are in sync. But yep, there's just a minute left. We're going to see one London side pick up a European trophy, and in a couple days' time, are we going to see another? Is it going to be a clean sweep from the English sides in the European stage here? Strand Larsen, brilliant hold-up play again. Noble Mendy has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Final 30 seconds remain here. Again, Vallecano have to push everybody forward. It does not matter if they lose 2-0 now. 20 seconds remain. Get the ball into the box. They go for the switch out here. They keep the ball nicely. Oh, the shot from Alemão goes wide. The centre forward from Brazil brings it down expertly but drags his shot wide. And that might be the final chance for Rayo Vallecano in the Conference League final. Brings that down nicely but drags his shot horribly wide. And Palace are there. Nigo Perez drops down to his haunches. That was the chance. Mateta bursts into a dance. And the referee blows the full-time whistle in Leipzig. And Crystal Palace have their first European trophy. What a way to sign off for Oliver Glasner. The FA Cup against Manchester City. The Community Shield against Liverpool. And now their first ever European trophy against Rayo Vallecano. It's gonna be a party in Leipzig as Crystal Palace are this season's Conference League champions. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and possibly Arsenal to complete the European clean sweep from the English sides as the Vallecano fans are in tears. Their European journey ends in the final. It is heartbreak for them. Jean-Philippe Mateta, the match winner early into the second half. Well, Palace had chances. Vallecano in the second half, unfortunately, running out of steam. Brilliant first half performance for them. Then they could not replicate it in the second 45. And Jean-Philippe Mateta will go down in Crystal Palace folklore as a hero. Full time in Leipzig, Crystal Palace 1, Vallecano 0, and Crystal Palace are this season's Conference League champions. Well, how about that for a turnaround? Well, the first 45 minutes, TJ, Crystal Palace played like they've never played together. It was a horrifying first 45 minutes from the London side. Yes, they had the best opportunity in the first half, right towards the end, when Adam Wharton clipped in a perfectly weighted pass for Tyreek Mitchell. His header went wide, but in the second half, Palace came out a completely different side. After Mateta scored, Palace had two glorious opportunities to add the second. Yerepin Pino with a brilliant free kick, which came off both posts. And then, of course, setting up Mateta with a brilliant save by Augusto Batalla. Dean Henderson was not troubled in the second half. And Crystal Palace can celebrate. Wow, Oliver Glasner has changed Crystal Palace lives. For a team that have not sniffed silverware in the 12-month period that they've been here, it has been silverware after silverware after silverware. That 15th place finish in the Premier League has been long forgotten now. It's still tears for the fans of Vallecano. The players cannot believe that they let the ball drop here. And this is some way for Oliver Glasner to sign off as Crystal Palace manager on top with yet another bit of silverware. Congratulations to Crystal Palace. Commiserations to Rayo Vallecano. They can be so proud of their European journey. They have no business being in a final considering their finances, but it's brilliant, man. West Ham, Chelsea, and now Crystal Palace, the new name to the Conference League trophy. Palace will play Europa League football next season. They should have played Europa League football this season, but with UEFA doing a bit of foul play, well, now Palace will find themselves in Europe. Brilliant. Crystal Palace fans, rejoice. It is special, man. Exactly, TJ. They've lost Eze and Mark Gahey this season. They're going to have a big exodus next season as well. Mateta, Wharton, Lacroix, JD Canvo, Jeremy Pino. These are the 5 head names on the top of my head that I feel might leave come the end of the season. It is tears for Vallecano players, staff, coaches, and everybody else involved, as Crystal Palace will rejoice all night long. And the Leipzig police better be on their best, as the Palace fans are certainly going to create a ruckus in Germany. Great to see the Vallecano players almost applauding their fans who have been top-notch, cheering their fans throughout. But it's Crystal Palace who will party all night long. Well, it's been a great stream again. Aston Villa doing it in the Europa League. Crystal Palace getting the job done in the Conference League. And now all the attention now turns to Arsenal, whether or not they can make it a clean sweep for the English sides in Europe. Full time in Leipzig. Palace 1, Vallecano 0. It's heartbreak for the Vallecano players, man. It's really, really sad to lose a cup final. It's heartbreaking for them. But that's top-level football, isn't it? It's brutal. It really is brutal. Look at Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's going to be the one that organizes the party. He's the match winner. The Crystal Palace fans, rejoice, man, rejoice. These are the nights they will never forget. Absolutely incredible. Well, that's that. 2 finals down, 1 to go. In a couple days' time, I will be live for the Champions League final. PSG versus Arsenal. PSG looking to go back-to-back in the Champions League, while Arsenal looking for their first ever European crown on the big stage. Mikel Arteta looking to do the League and Champions League double from an Arsenal side full of belief. It is going to be a crazy final. Do tune in for the live stream, guys. It's 9:30 India time live, but I'm going to be live an hour before at least for the build-up. Get the atmosphere going. It is going to be really, really interesting to see. Whoo! Palace, congratulations, Glasner. That is some way to sign off, man. He has changed their lives, hasn't he? How do Crystal Palace replace someone like him, man? I have no idea. Maybe Iraola from Bournemouth moves to Crystal Palace. We'll wait and see. Massive night in Budapest. TJ, are you going? Well, you went. You should have stayed back in Europe, man. You dropped the ball. Take the leave. Work from home. Stay in London for a couple of weeks. Make the quick trip to Budapest. When are you going to see your team in the Champions League final again? You never know. But that's the thing. Arsenal, all attention now to you. Well, we talked about the dominance of the English sides, their finances. I mean, you look at the Crystal Palace side and you compare it to the RAYO Vallecano side. I mean, it's chalk and cheese in terms of the talent. Despite Crystal Palace finishing 15th in the Premier League and Vallecano finishing 8th in La Liga. But you look at the players like Ismail Assar, Jean-Philippe Mateta, Jeremy Pino, Adam Wharton, Maxence Lacroix. I mean, these are quality players from a side that finished 15th in the Premier League. Full marks to the Vallecano players, man. The way that they're showing their support back to the fans who have cheered them all evening long. It's still heartbreak for them, but the fans continue to cheer, and you just love to see that, man. That's the kind of support that just brings you together as a club and makes you stronger for seasons to come. Inigo Perez, you can be proud of the campaign that you've had. 8th in La Liga, a Conference League final, and it's still tears for the Vallecano fans, man. It's really hard to watch, but they still continue to cheer. I'm not the Crystal Palace fans. Well, it's going to take so much to drag them out of the stadium because they're going to be partying all night long, waiting for the trophy lift. Ismail Assar, he won the AFCON with Senegal in January, and now he's added European medals around his neck. Shadi Riyad, he's representing the Moroccan flag. Crystal Palace, that is special. Well, it's time for me to sign off, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I cannot begin to thank you for all the support that I've received throughout the streams, man. It's been blessed from my point of view. I'm so lucky to have you guys tune in and give me the support here. It's 2:30 a.m. in India. I'm still full of adrenaline. And that's all thanks to you guys, man. I'll see you guys in a couple days' time. I want to see more numbers. I want to see a lot more support for the main event of the season, the Champions League final in Budapest, PSG versus Arsenal. And that's going to be the final watch-along. Thank you so much, guys. This is me, Suraj, signing off. And I'll see you guys in a couple days' time.